Hello and welcome to our video telling you everything you need to know about Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I'm Lee Bradley, this is Hairy Rich Walker.
Hello.
And
not so hairy Dan Webb.
Dan's been out in LA for a few days and he has been playing and learning and writing in his little notebook everything that we need to know about Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Everything.
Everything.
Except for zombies.
Spoilers, he's actually really excited about it.
For once in my life, genuinely.
So this video we're just going to grill Dan and see what he can tell us. We don't know nearly as much as he does, but we're going to get it all out of him.
Mate, I've got like 7 pages of stuff to talk about here, from multiplayer to 4-player campaign co-op to zombies to the beta that's coming out later on in the year to the new specialist classes to the new abilities that you can use when you're traversing maps, to underwater shooty combat, to everything. Literally everything you need to know.
He said it all.
We're going to tell you all about it in this one 14-hour video, so just stick with us. It's going to be great.
I genuinely went there and we had like 2 hours of presentations and like demos, and then it was like, go and play the game. It was like, oh fuck! Which is unprecedented.
Yeah, they don't usually do it like this, do they?
No, so what usually happens is they announce now, they do a campaign reveal at E3, then they do a multiplayer reveal and hands-on at Gamescom, and then September they announce zombie mains. Well, that's what they did with Black Ops 2. This year, look it. This is the beauty of their new 3-year dev cycle.
Right,
They've got everything and they're way ahead of schedule, and from what we played, it was the most polished bit of pre-alpha.
Is that what they called it?
I think it was pre-alpha, yeah.
Wow, alright.
Wow.
So this is the alpha of the pre-alpha, which is
the earliest
the pre-alpha of the alpha. Yeah.
Okay, alright. So let's get stuck in. We're going to start with the campaign. What can you tell us about the story?
The story, it is set in a dark and twisted future, which is the actual official line. It's about like 40, 50 years ahead, further on down the line after Black Ops 2. And Black Ops 2 was all the drone strikes in 2025.
So it's well in the future.
Yeah, so it's future warfare.
Okay.
But it's Black Ops 3. So what happens with the drone strikes, the world came together and they said, look, we need to stop this happening again. There's something called the Directed Energy Air Defense Systems, which stopped...
Is that sky lasers?
I think so, a little bit, yeah. I mean, they didn't really touch on it too much. It was more like just a bit of background info. So basically what happened was the world came together to stop the drone strikes from happening again, which meant that boots on the ground soldiers became more and more important in combat. But it was at a point in the technology cycle where it was robots, bio-augmentations, super soldiers, and that is where Black Ops 3 is set.
Nice.
So in terms of the story, they didn't really give too much away. They talked about 2 new factions that have come around after this new kind of catastrophe, I guess you could call it. You've got the Winslow Accord and you've got the CDP, which is the Common Defence Pact.
What's the Winslow Accord?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
They're just 2 factions, Rich. I don't think it really...
Oh, I see, right.
I guess
one for a faction.
Yeah, it is, but I didn't... Well, that's all I actually said on the factions.
Is it led by gravel-voiced actor Michael Winslow?
No.
I know of a girl who lives in Winslow. For a little while.
Okay. Isn't there a... Yeah, alright. Yeah.
No, that's not what I've got written down here, though. The campaign is not going to be a normal one, is it? There's co-op.
4-player co-op.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Which, the great thing is, it means QTEs are gone.
Okay.
Because obviously there's 4 players, and when... And you know when you watch... So there's different kinds of cutscenes in the game. There's actually out-of-body cutscenes, which I don't think is usually done in Call of Duty, right?
They do that.
So third-person cutscenes.
Yeah, they do.
Do they not just do it?
They're usually CG cutscenes, though.
Yeah, so this is kind of... But what happens is there's different types of cutscenes. You've got cutscenes from your perspective. Yeah. So if you've got other 3 co-op buddies who are involved in the scenes, you will see what they're actually doing.
Okay.
So whether Rich is pressing a button to... This is an example actually from the demo, where some guy's ripping a bit of armour away from a hole in the wall. So Rich will see him ripping the piece of metal away from the wall, and you will see him doing that.
Okay.
But obviously with 4 players, although you can play it as 1 person, and you can play it 2-player split screen as well if you want.
Okay.
Or you can play it 2-player split screen with 2 people online.
That's
or you
cool.
can play it 4-player online, 3-player online, 2-player online,
Just
whatever
no
you want.
So all the combinations.
Just not 4-player split screen.
Okay.
But I'm fairly sure you can do 4-player split screen in multiplayer still.
Oh yeah, of course.
Are you playing with bots if you're playing on your own?
No.
Okay, you're just on your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because sometimes they do a cutscene from your perspective, but everybody sees it from your perspective.
Oh,
but
right.
that's something that they're calling the direct neural interface.
Okay.
Which because you can work as a unit on the field. So say if you're a sniper and you're at the back picking out targets, then the targets will show on your interface as well because you're all connected.
I see.
How your augmentations are.
Brain
Yeah, it's the
link
neural
kind of thing.
interface. Yeah.
Okay. So do you know anything about the characters at all, or are they being kept in the dark?
Well, I'm not entirely sure
Right.
because I think you build your own characters
Oh, really?
and customise them,
Oh,
but
that's
they'll
interesting.
still have their own kind of personalities and voice
Stories and stuff. I
yeah.
guess. Right. Okay.
But the stuff in the multiplayer which might tie into this, I'm not sure because what they've said is that all 3 pillars are completely separate. So your campaign has a levelling up system,
Right.
and you get better abilities. They're called cyber cores and cyber rigs. We'll touch on that in a bit.
Okay.
But you can then go back and replay the first level with new abilities and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm not sure in terms of they didn't really talk too much about the story. They showed us a level set in Cairo, and in Cairo it was classic Black Ops. It was they walked through the aftermath of war, and then it was a flashback to how it got like that. So
Right.
Black Ops is basically flashbacks, right?
Yeah.
So it works in that same kind of thing. But there's the neural interface thing I'm talking about. You're all connected. So if you're doing stuff like spotting and stuff like that,
It'll all
and
show up.
assessing the battlefield, then it'll help me if I'm on the front line.
And I guess that
Effectively.
promotes proper teamwork, proper co-op gameplay, because you're all doing your bit.
Yeah,
And you-
absolutely.
yeah, that's
It's
cool.
something that's I'm not giving you a chance to ask your questions here, but the AI systems have been completely reworked. Treyarch have said that this wouldn't have been possible on last gen. Now they've not talked about
They always
last
say that,
gen
don't they?
Black Ops yet,
Yeah.
whether it's going to be on the 360 and the
Oh, I
PS3.
see. Yeah.
Because I asked them, and like Mark Lamia said to me, he said, all we're saying at the moment is this is Black Ops 3. But they kept saying this isn't possible on next gen,
Right.
that isn't possible on next
Yeah,
gen.
But
previous
then
gen.
they've said this
Sorry,
kind
last
of thing before, haven't they? And then said that, the last gen version is, watered down in some respects.
It might be, right? But we don't know. We don't know
Okay.
anything officially yet. But if it's going to be 4-player co-op, I mean, that's not a next-gen thing because World at War was the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah,
2008, I want
want
to say. No, not 2008. But yeah, whenever that was. World at War. It might have been 2008, hasn't it?
2009, I think, because wasn't it after...
COD 2,
it was
COD
after
3,
COD 4.
COD 4, World at War.
2008, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, that had 4-player co-op.
Mhm.
But now it's got, like, instead of these scripted moments, you still get the scripted moments at the end of kind of the acts and stuff like that, because we saw a big scripted moment. They've had to rework the entire AI because all the levels are now mini kind of sandboxes.
Okay.
So they're really wide, they're really long, you've got different things coming in from different angles, so you kind of really need to work as a team. And especially if you're playing 4-player, the difficulty ramps up as you're playing.
If they're mini sandboxes, do you have a bit of destruction and stuff like that then?
No.
No? Oh, it's a shame.
Although the scripted stuff, but nothing on the...
It's not Battlefield.
It's
not
not
Battlefield.
Battlefield. It's
Right.
still Michael Bay-esque Call of Duty explosions, set pieces, and the like.
Linear progression within little sandboxes.
See, the sandboxes are just like big combat hubs, effectively.
Right.
That it's not meant to be, you can go left, you can go right. It's like you've just got this thing, but you're going to be filtered back in to do specific objectives.
Still sounds cool.
But yeah, so the example they showed us was 4 players. There was 1 player on the front line, there was a sniper at the back, and then there were 2. There was one kind of as a scout overlooking the field, doing electrical stuff with, we're going to talk about all the cyber cores and rigs in a bit, and then the other person was a bit like a heavy gunner, covering fire, stuff like that, suppressive fire. So, yes.
Very
Alright, so tell us about those abilities that you just mentioned there then.
Okay, so this is the cool thing with the campaign and the future warfare, because it allows them to go a little bit crazy with some of the technologies. So every one has cyber cores. Let me just check that which one's which. Cyber cores are your agnostic skills. They mentioned one which was really cool, which they call fireflies, which is it's like, I guess that they're not actually fireflies. They're the kind of little robot flies that set fire. Yeah, like nano machines. Yeah, that set fire to everything.
Okay.
So these are all on cooldown timers, so you can't use them all the time. You can switch them out. You've got different ones. They didn't really go into too much detail about which ones they've got in there, but there are, I do believe, I want to say 40, but I don't have that written down.
40 different like special abilities, essentially.
Yeah,
really?
but they range from the cyber cores, which are your actual skills, to the cyber rigs, which are passive abilities, things like faster movement and stuff like that.
Okay.
But there's a lot of hacking involved in the stuff. So one is you can hack robots in the environment. So because of the AI now works together, because usually when it was scripted, they could push the AI towards one player.
Yeah.
But now you've got 4 players, so they'll have ways to try and take out the snipers and stuff like that. They'll work together to do that. Then you've got the bipedal robots, who don't have, what do they call it? Like, they don't have any life preserve kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, because they're robots. So
they've no self-preservation.
Yeah.
They just rush
Yeah,
in.
that's
And
self-preservation.
Right.
That's one.
So they just come at you.
Yes, but they will work together to come at you. So if there's somebody on the front line, the robots will just kind of work together and just hone in on you.
Are they scary? Do they like march dead-eyed
Yeah,
at you?
they're a little bit like a cross between the Vex from Destiny and Legion from Mass Effect.
Because when you said bipedal robots, my mind immediately sprung to Metal Gear. So, but they're not like that. They're like humanoid.
Oh yeah, they are.
Right.
Yeah,
I see what you're thinking about, the walker
Absolutely.
things.
No, they're humanoid-esque robots.
Right.
There's one, we're going to talk about the multiplayer specialist thing, but they look like that.
Okay.
So you can hack them and stuff like that.
Is there any fighting against humans?
Oh yeah, loads.
Okay.
But they all have augmented abilities as well.
I see.
So there's drones in the battlefield as well that other enemies are using that you can hack and then use for you for a bit.
That sounds like Titanfall as well, doesn't it? Having human troops, ground troops, and robots that you can hack.
Yeah, a little bit, but like
Yeah.
whereas Titanfall, that was multiplayer.
Yeah.
Whereas
this is
just
thing.
the campaign. I would say the single player, but it's obviously co-op as well.
Yeah.
So this is the single player as well. I didn't see any hacking abilities online because it was all human controlled characters.
So the robots, you can't play as a robot in
You can play as a robot in multiplayer.
Can you really?
We'll get to that.
Oh,
we'll get
my
to
God.
that. Tell me about safe houses.
So safe houses is a new cool thing. So say if Rich was a level 2 and I was a level 10.
That's pretty high for me.
Yeah, it is. I thought that.
Well done, Rich.
But you level up really quickly, so you'd get to a 2 after like 3 hours,
3
whereas
days.
I'd get there after like 20 seconds. But when you level up, you get new abilities, you get new cyber cores, new cyber rigs, so then you can approach missions as a team. You're like, okay, so you're going to be the spotter, so you want hacking abilities where you can hack from a distance, whereas say you're going to be the runner, so if there's an objective and we want to run to the objective, you'll use your faster movement to get there while we cover you, that kind of thing. Because it, as I said, it scales up, so if there's 4 of us playing, there's going to be more enemies, harder enemies, I assume. I didn't really know what they said when difficulty scales, that's all they said. They didn't go into detail what, but the thing is, it's still Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
So robots, it's not like an RPG.
Right.
Your robot, when you fight it at level 1, is going to be the same when you fight it at level 10. You're just going to have more abilities.
Okay.
And be able to have more fun. But yeah, so the safe houses, I've got all these cool weapons. So one of the weapons we saw was this kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, but it shot like spiked explosives out.
Okay.
So it was this huge yellow gun, something like you'd expect to see like a legendary weapon in Destiny. And it would stick in the vehicle, and then after a few seconds just explode. That was one of the power weapons.
So like the javelin gun in Dead Space, but explosive.
I have no idea what that gun is.
It just fires big, long, like javelin spikes, and they just go in the wall, and you can pin enemies with them.
No, because these are like explosive spikes.
Okay.
They're more like sticky grenades, effectively, that you're spiking into vehicles.
Cool. You can't pin enemies with them then?
Well, no, because they'll explode.
Why is your
Have they
go-to
exploded
Dead
impact?
Space for that and not Half-Life?
because I forgot
Half-Life's
about
the one, mate, and you have them like ragdolling, swinging.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so then in between missions, Rich can come into my safe house and see what I've unlocked in terms of achievements and trophies.
So it's like a show-off space.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
But then there's weapons in there, and I'm like, Rich, you might struggle. You're a level 2,
Right.
and we're doing the last mission in the game because you don't really care about story, because you never have. And this is why you hate Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But like, then I can say, right, you use this gun for this session.
Shit, you can lend in weapons.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
so yeah, this is cool.
Is there any way to customise that space just in its looks? Forget the stuff in it.
They didn't really go into too much detail on that.
So you can't put Def Leppard posters on the wall?
No, I'm not. I'm not sure. Like, they showed one up, but they didn't show us editing it and what you could do. They're like, look, this is the new safe house. It's your little downtime hub before.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. It does sound cool.
Alright, anything more to say about campaign, Daniel?
No.
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 Okay. By the way, if you're watching this and you do want more information beyond what you get here, which you won't because this video is amazing, you can go to the website xboxachievements.com and playstationtrophies.org, and there is more Call of Duty Black Ops 3 content that you could ever possibly dream of.
A plethora.
Yeah, a plethora.
Great word.
Alright, we're on to multiplayer. How do those abilities work when you transfer everything into multiplayer?
No.
Okay, good.
Multiplayer is completely separate.
Like you said, it's completely not even
Completely
involved.
separate. Right, so there's a way that I'm going to go through this. Like, you've got an order there, but it's only going to make sense at the end.
Alright.
So, the first thing I'm going to talk about
Yes.
is the new combat systems, which is the combat movement and things like that.
And multiplayer comes on a separate disc and a separate box.
Right.
It's completely separate.
But I tell you what, this is the kind of game that you could probably sell off, because Zombies is completely separate as well. But we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I say talk about that. There's not much to talk about Zombies at the moment.
Right.
A few little cool things that I mentioned.
Awesome.
So yeah, the movement has been completely redone. Completely redone.
Can you like zoom around like in Advanced Warfare? Like just dash that way and this way?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Right, I'm going to break this down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate, smaller, just normal abilities that everybody has access to.
Alright, go on.
So the first one is, it's just a normal traversal. So it's everything's guns up now. So you know when you mantle in a Call of Duty game and you take your gun away while both hands come on screen? That doesn't happen anymore.
Okay.
You mantle with one hand and you've got your gun.
You can still shoot.
You can still shoot while you mantle. Always sprint is on now, but obviously when you sprint, your gun's up in the air. That's the one time where it's risk versus reward.
Always sprint. So everywhere you go, you're sprinting around.
No, like
unlimited sprint.
Unlimited.
Okay.
But that is obviously the one where it's guns up because, or guns down, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because you're running, and if they made it with guns up, it'd be ridiculous because everyone would just be sprinting and shooting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got unlimited sprint. You can basically, I would say, for most of the movement actions in the game, it's guns up except for sprint.
Okay.
Okay.
So the whole idea is that there's no pause in combat. This is what they are pushing. I'll tell you what, they use the whole technical terms of like winding in the combat loops, so that you were getting into combat quicker, and they were doing everything. That they
Holy
could.
shit! I'd never thought that was a problem that Call of Duty's ever had.
No, but
do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Because like before, you had we were talking about this earlier on. Has there been a Call of Duty game with unlimited sprint?
I don't think there has.
But has it mattered usually? Because
you're on top of everything already, aren't you? It's not like Battlefield where you run for 5 minutes, die, and then spawn, and then run for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what made Advanced Warfare's traversal so fun, in my opinion. Because if you did get worn out from sprinting, you could just go and boost off somewhere.
Yeah, well, this you can. Okay, let's move into the next one.
Yeah, go on.
Which is the thrust jump.
Okay.
Which
Sexy.
Which like they were keen. What do they call it? Not to be confused with the exo jump.
Right.
So the thrust jump is more like.
It goes like that.
Yeah, a bit like that, yeah. It's like Tom Jones, but that's Fungal. Get that in your head.
Is there a Tom Jones skin then?
There is, yes.
Yeah, cool.
It's official, that's exclusive to Wales.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's more like, so but they pitched it first, they were like, how can we improve speed in combat? Okay. And like, people were like, it takes me ages to get up this fucking ladder. Like, and then people are like, why do you have ladders in multiplayer? And I was like, we need to get rid of the ladder, so what we're going to do is put the thrust jump in so you can jump up stories. But it acts more like a little jetpack.
Right.
Oh,
but it's not a massive, like,
Do you have much control? Can you steer? Or you just got that bosh?
So this is the great thing, that it's omnidirectional. You can choose whichever way you want to go. You can go up and you can go out to a side. Like you can.
Oh really?
Yeah, and so you definitely have more control over the actual jump. It ties quite nicely into the next one, which is the power slide. So the power slide is dolphin jumping is gone. Sorry, dolphin diving is gone. So you know when people are running around and then dive to prone.
I hate that.
And then that's gone.
Good.
But what you can do now is you can slide along the floor.
Okay.
But all you need to do is double tap, crouch, while running.
Presumably you can still go prone, right?
You can go prone,
so
yeah.
How
just hold down crouch.
So how have they prevented people from being able to dolphin dive then in that case?
Because dolphin diving was running, jumping into prone.
Oh, so if you run and I
so
see
you run and then you hit crouch. You actually crouch.
Yeah.
They have that in.
Gotcha.
Forgive me. Destiny.
Yeah. But in Destiny, what players do all of the time, and it's kind of seen as the cheapest movies, they leg it around the map. They've got a shotgun, which has got shitty range, obviously. They slide, so if you've got them from range, they break down that barrier, and then they shotgun you in the face. That's what's going to happen to me in this game all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and the great thing is you can thrust jump, and then as you land, you can slide.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
But not just that, right? So if you're running, and somebody's shooting at you behind, so you boost and then you can turn around mid-air and then as you land you can hit the slide and you can slide backwards while shooting.
You can slide backwards as long as you've got the momentum.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
You can even slide around corners as well. So you boost and then as you land you can slide a different way to whatever way.
It sounds like they've got Titanfall, Advanced Warfare, Destiny, mashed it all up in a pot and then chucked in some little bacon bits.
I think that's fair. Right? It genuinely is. Like when we start talking about some of the other stuff, then like you see the influences of Destiny. I'm going to talk about specialist classes in a bit, but they're very Destiny influenced.
Right.
Like in Destiny, you have the golden gun, which you can only use for a certain amount of time.
You get 3 shots, I think.
Yeah, well, there's stuff like that in this, but we'll talk about that later.
Right, movement.
That's the hunter special.
Actually, I missed one, and I missed the most important one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, but it's, everyone's got their own.
Everyone's got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wall running, you can now wall run, which is really easy. All you have to do is jump into a wall and you'll automatically wall run.
But you can shoot as you're on the wall, right?
You can not only shoot, you can aim down sights.
Wow.
And you said you can like change direction on the wall and stuff.
So then so you're running on a wall. What you need to do is turn into the wall, and then you'll run the other way.
Oh shit.
That's awesome. That's really
so if you're wall running and somebody's shooting behind you, you can turn direction.
It sounds insanely fast.
It's very fast, very fast. Like we were playing 10-minute games, and like people were getting 30-40 kills.
But I'm just picturing just complete chaos in my head. I'm picturing people wall running, boosting, sliding.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
just jumping,
madness.
sliding, washing around.
It is for a lot part, but I think the maps have been. We played 3 maps. I can't remember the names.
Are they particularly vertical?
They must be.
No, not massively.
No?
They said that their philosophy was 2 stories.
Oh, right.
So combat should never be more than like 2 stories away. The combat is always got to be in view.
Right.
Which made me thought about the new Ascendance map.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
10
thought.
fucking
There's
layers.
a really high one.
But that was a really fun map.
But I didn't like it.
Did you not?
No, because
once
towards the
people
end
know
of
it, people are going to be getting you all the time.
Yeah, people were up on the top, just kind of going on the outskirts.
That's
you
true.
don't really get that with this. Like with Titanfall, I was one of them dicks that got all the way to the roof and then just sniped everyone from the roof for the entire game, which worked great for me.
I've just thought of something. You know, in Titanfall as well, you could also wall run and stop and hang off.
No.
You can't do that.
Well, not unless it's an ability that they're going to announce.
Right. Okay.
But the wall running is you wall run, you go, and you will fall off. It's not unlimited.
Right. Yeah.
It's not if you're going to run around a fucking like you do on Sunset Overdrive, just run around
Just
a
keep
circular,
running.
like a cylindrical object all the way around the
Forever.
outside. Yeah, so you can do all that, and then you can jump in, you can jump out to wall run. So you can do the wall run kind of back and forth. There's some great risk-reward moments where there's like signs hanging over a chasm.
Okay.
So if you wall run on it, you've got to be able to get onto the next wall run and boost, like kind of jump boost diagonally. Otherwise you die.
Nice.
But it's great in things like Capture the Flag or Territories, which is called, I want to say Hardpoint. Right? Yeah, because they all change names.
Yeah.
So you can basically cut a bit of shortcut out. rather than running straight through the combat. But everybody's doing it, so
right.
you're wall running into wall runners coming the other way, and it's like, pew, pew, pew.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Dan, let me ask you a question. Can you swim in Call of Duty Black Ops 3?
You can swim in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Which
no ordinary swimming.
It's not just swimming, it is kind of axial combat. So you can swim up shooting. It's not just...
Oh, you're proper...
Yeah, it's not just like you're swimming on a line. You can... Basically, you've got full guns down. Right. You haven't just got a pistol.
Yeah.
All your guns work underwater.
Can you be shot in the water by someone who's outside of the water? Okay,
so this is the interesting thing. I tried that a lot. It's really hard to see in the water who's down there.
Okay.
It's kind of cloudy until you get in it.
Right.
And when you get in it, so I think they've done it pretty well, because otherwise you could have, it'd be like shooting fish in a barrel, effectively.
Yeah.
Like literally as well. And there's probably a small barrel in one of the levels.
With a fish.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like you jump in the water and then you can't stay in the water forever. You'll still...
You have an O2?
No, it's not visible.
Is it like...
But you can't stay
in
there.
You
know what? Bubbles.
I fought in there a lot in the water, because there's one of the levels where they put a flag in the water.
Oh shit, really? Yeah. Because I was going to say, why would you go in the water?
Why? Because shortcuts.
Oh, that's another example
of
a shortcut?
So say if there's... On one of the levels, it was like... I can't remember how you... It's like a kind of... I guess it's like set in China. Yeah, you've got all these kind of bamboo huts and things like that.
Okay.
And in the middle there's this huge waterfall. So you've got a bridge to one side, a bridge to the other side, and then this big kind of man-made lake in the middle with a waterfall going through the middle.
Okay.
So if you want to go from one side of the map to the other, the only way to do is going through the water, or you can run round up the steps in through the buildings, and that way.
By which time you'll have been dead 12 times.
Or you've killed all the people on the way, but it depends
on
what you want to do. I mean, if you see somebody's died over there, you might want to go to them. Or
so I'm assuming when you're in the water, if you don't have an O2 bar, you've got some sort of visual indicator.
Well, the thing is that I never got caught out by it. I never drowned. I was in there for quite a lot. A long time.
Surely everything slows right down.
No, it's the same pace.
Same pace?
Yeah, it's mental. It's genuinely mental.
Well, you got little boosters or something? What?
Well, because you're a robot, right? So you're just moving... Well, you're not a robot,
augmented.
You've got augmented limbs. So you're just moving as quick as you are.
Surely the inertia must feel different.
Well, yeah, because you're not running. So you're just kind of swimming.
But it's still fast.
I'm not even sure how you're swimming, but yeah, it's not like everything's slowed down. Everything moves just as fast.
Maybe if you had like an outboard motor on his back or something.
Like a James Bond thing.
I guess it's your robotic legs, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and you can move on different planes and whatever you can.
I don't know if I'm sold on that.
Like I wasn't. I thought that's a load of bollocks. And then when I actually got in there, I was like, that's alright.
But does it feel right then?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
It just feels like there's no gravity.
Because even in Sonic...
It just feels like Call of Duty with no gravity.
Even in Sonic the Hedgehog, it felt like you were underwater.
Yeah, but you move slowly, didn't you? Like, and this, you know...
Yeah.
And then jump out. And the good thing is, you use your boost to get out.
Okay.
So you boost out the water, so you'll find that there's this like wooden bridge with railings around the outside, but you could boost straight over that onto the bridge and just carry on running. But then you'd find that you'd have to be pretty quick, because then there'll be people there waiting to shoot you.
Can you be in the water, jump out of the water like a whale, shoot people, and then duck straight back down into the water?
Yeah. But the thing is, though...
You come out like Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now.
But you would boost out, so you'd be...
Yeah, you'd be like a dolphin, man.
No, but you'd hang in the air for a moment before you went back down, so you're going to be a...
I really want to do that.
Someone's got to do a machina where there's a guy on the bridge and he jumps over like in Free Willy.
But yeah, so like you are like you're suspended there before the inertia takes you back down. So you are, it's like shooting fish in a barrel that have jumped out the barrel that are just hovering there in the air.
Cool.
But
I'm going to change the schedule. I'm going to ask you about classes.
You're crazy.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably best. So now Call of Duty has specialist classes.
Right. What does that mean?
That means that they're a little bit like Destiny classes.
Amazing.
They don't change anything except give you a new ability or a new weapon.
Okay.
Which is on a cooldown timer. Like the Golden Gun.
What kind of abilities?
Like the Golden Gun.
Have you got any more for me?
Alright, so I'll run through a few. There's a gravity spike.
Okay.
Which is basically you smash it in the ground and it's like I think it's probably 6 to 8 foot kind of area.
Well, that sucks people in?
No, it smashes them out and kills them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It's powerful, but...
Is it just a one-hit kind of impact, bam, or does it stay there?
No, it's bang. It's like doing like a ground pound, but with a big area of effect.
I see.
But you don't need to jump. Like, you can zoom in. But obviously when you zoom in, people can shoot you as you get there.
Yeah,
so it's a bit
it's
like
definitely
the
something
sword.
to use from...
I got
because no one's
6
expecting
kills in one go with it. We were playing hardpoint, and everyone was in this small room, and I walked in, bang, killed 6 people. I was like, yes, it's very satisfying. But the thing is that they're quite well balanced. They're meant to be mid-level power weapons or abilities. So if you can't get that end score streak, like I don't know, like the DNA bomb or whatever in Advanced Warfare, you can't get that.
Yeah.
It's kind of a go-between that everybody can feel powerful for that one moment, but the thing is though that if you're still good at COD, your score will bring the cooldown timer quicker.
I was going to ask about that.
So if you're good, you're still good.
You can speed up the cooldown timer of your special ability by killing more people.
I've got some time here. So there's 2 different types, right? There's abilities and weapons.
Right. Each
Each class has an ability, each class has a weapon. You choose either or. You can't choose both.
Oh, alright.
So you either go in with an explosive bow, or you go in with the ability to see through walls.
Got you.
The abilities usually last longer. So if you're good at COD and you want that passive ability, well, that's not even passive, you have to activate it. If you want that ability, then you have to... So here you go, let me talk figures, because this is better. Okay. Right, so the abilities, if you did nothing for an entire game, this is a normal game because they're tweaked for every game mode. So
alright, that makes sense.
Search and destroy, you wouldn't want using the gravity spikes every round. So you're likely only going to get it in one round, so it's when you use it. And if you use it, and to no joy, that's it, you've lost it, you have to build it back up again. So I think this is on a standard game, let's say like Team Deathmatch. If you did nothing for 4 minutes, you'd get your ability.
Okay.
The average player would get it in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Considering that your average game is 6 minutes, these are all figures that Treyarch have run. Your average game is 6 minutes. So you're going to get like 2 or 3 a game, if you're an average player.
How big are the teams? I guess it depends what the mode that you're playing on, but I'm just thinking, if everybody's going to get like a couple a match, and it's 6 aside or whatever, it's going to be mental.
It's not 6 aside though,
it can sometimes be like 16 aside, can't
it? It depends on the mode, doesn't it? But yeah, that's going to be bonkers.
Yeah, and then for the weapons, if you did nothing for 2 minutes, you get the weapon. The average player will get it in 1.
In 1 minute, so every 1 minute you're going to be able to unleash something spectacular.
Yeah, but they're not massively like... I could beat people with power weapons fairly easily.
I got you.
They're not like... You still need to have the skill to kill.
Yeah.
Skill to kill.
Right. Nice.
Like, it's not just a cheap weapon. Every time you activate it, you're going to get loads of kills.
It's not just a bomb that wipes out half the map.
No.
It's something you got to do.
So let me run through a couple of them.
I'd like one of those, though.
So one of the specialists are actually people.
Right.
So the first one is Ruin, and they've got these really kind of wanky backstories. If you look on the site, I'm going to break down all 4 of the classes.
Is that what they told you in the presentation?
Well, no, but I was like, this fucking... bollocks.
We wanted to make the backstories as wanky as we could for this.
We've really amped up the wanker tube
we've
this year.
Wanked ourselves this year.
There's a lot of wankiness going on. So call sign Ruin, his weapon is the gravity spike.
Right.
His ability is overdrive, so it's a quick burst of speed.
So what's his wanky backstory?
I can't remember it,
He had a difficult childhood.
I put 44 minutes because that was like when it was in the presentation.
His mum didn't love him.
So we have Seraph, whose weapon is the Annihilator, which is a high caliber 1-hit revolver.
Alright.
But it doesn't have incredible range.
Alright, so that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
And people at school used to take his lunch money.
And on the other hand, the combat, and she has combat focus.
Sorry. Yeah.
So basically, that will help people if you're... So combat focus means you'll score points more quickly.
Oh,
so
right.
if you want to get a score streak quicker and you're good enough, then you use that ability to accelerate that and then bang.
Okay.
Outrider, see these wanky names, right?
Outrider.
Her weapon, again, is a Sparrow. And it's not the Sparrow from Destiny either.
Okay.
It's an explosive round crossbow.
Okay.
That's why I don't think it's a crossbow. I think it's just an actual bow.
Alright.
But again, like that's great. Explosive rounds, bang, instant kills. But you need to pull it back,
It's like
and then you need to let it go. So it's like a second before you can let it off.
Right.
So somebody can easily kill you before you've done that.
So she's a kind of character that needs to be careful then and keep distance. So
So that's her backstory.
Right.
She's some thief or something.
I bet you loved that one, didn't you? You love a bow.
I did use it, and the first time I used it, I got like 4 kills in a row. But then it runs out. So unlike Destiny, if you miss your shots, like it's going to go down, but I don't think it goes down as much.
Okay.
So if you get 3 shots in Destiny and it's done, say you get 4 shots or 3 shots with the Annihilator, but you miss 1, you might get another. So if you miss 3, you're likely to get another 2.
Yeah.
So it's I think that's how it works. And the Reaper is the combat robot, which is like your Legion from Mass Effect mixed with Vex. He has a really cool weapon, which is the Scythe, which I'm fairly convinced is overpowered at the moment, which they will dial back somehow.
Right.
While probably making it just shorter time. It's an arm that turns into a minigun, like a chain gun.
Nice.
With those kind of sound effects as well.
Nice. I imagine it sounds exactly like that.
But the more interesting ability is his. It's called Glitch.
Yes, you told me about this. It sounds awesome.
And so Glitch is basically you use it and you jump back 5 seconds. Just you. The rest of the game carries on. So if you're running down a corridor and somebody's chasing you, like say you went around a corner and you're running and somebody comes in and you're like, oh shit, you shoot me from behind. If I can't turn quick enough to kill him. So use your glitch ability and jump, and it can jump you potentially behind him. It jumps you back to wherever you were 5 seconds
That's
ago.
insane.
So
immediately you go bosh and you're back to where you were 5 seconds ago. Okay.
So there's cool things with, like, they showed us a demo video where one guy was wall running and then the other guy jumped on the wall run and started aim down sights killing him. As soon as he saw that he was getting shot, used his glitch ability, teleported behind him and killed him.
Both triggers at the same time?
It's LB and LB, or L1 and L1.
Right.
And then you jump behind him.
That's amazing.
I've not played as him, but he sounds like he's already my favourite.
But the thing is, right, you can only select one of those. You can't select both. It's not like, oh, which one warms up first. Before the match, you have to choose whether you want the weapon or whether you want the ability.
In his case, yeah.
But the ability is, like, it only works as well as the person. Because if you were in...
It's hard to put
If you were running into a wall 5 seconds ago, and then you jump back 5 seconds, you're going to be running into that wall.
And you also don't know if the space that you're transporting yourself to is any less dangerous. There might be a bloke just waiting there ready to shoot you.
But the good thing is it works that way as well. Like if you run into a dangerous area or there's like 4 people fighting, you're like, oh fuck, and then you can just teleport back and go in a little bit carefully or know where people are when you go in. So that's 4 of the 9. So there's 9 classes.
And each one is a character. I mean, that's...
Do you know what?
different.
That alone, that glitch thing, on its own, makes this the most... Is innovative the right word? The most innovative Call of Duty in ages.
Interesting.
It is interesting, yeah.
But like, how does that work? This glitch ability, how can you glitch back in time? Well, basically, I think they've said it that you're playing in some kind of simulation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's the multiplayer.
Yeah, I think that's their justification for
it.
That's not confirmed, but that's what, because they put, we may or may not be playing in a simulation.
Interesting.
But yeah, there's more specialists to be revealed, and if they're half as interesting as the 4 that they've already announced, then we're on to a winner.
We're going straight onto another cool thing as well. Tell me about Gunsmith.
You can make your own guns.
Really?
How does that work?
So
wasn't there
basically
a thing in Ghost Recon called Gunsmith?
It was, yeah.
Oh god, do you remember? It had a Connect and it was
Connect,
shit.
Yeah. So yeah, you make your own guns. So they took a Man of War in the game and they stripped it down. So you had all your attachments and stuff. So you had, let me get this right in terms of numbers. I'm not on the right page, but I think it's like you can add an optic. These are all counted from your pick 10 things, by the way.
Oh, so it's back down to 10.
Yeah,
because it's 13 in Advanced Warfare.
It was.
Yeah, but Black Ops has been pick 10, right?
Yeah, Black Ops 2 was.
Yeah, so yeah, pick 10. Basically, you choose. You create variants of guns. So you can actually give it your own name as well. So you can call it the Rich Walker or the Lee Bradley
Or what was it? Dan's not fire skin flute.
Yeah, or not fire skin flute.
Yeah.
You can change your optics. You can add attachments like barrels, clips, mags, grips, quick draw grips, adjustable stocks, suppressors. There's ultimate model variants as well, so you can have a customised look to you.
Put a little bobblehead on top.
Well, the weird thing is that you can. It wouldn't surprise me, because there were different silencers that did the same thing but just looked different.
Okay.
And then I think you can unlock them as well. So people are going to be having their own guns that they've created that they see. But the cool thing is, like the Black Ops II emblem editor, which had 32 layers.
Yeah.
You can now fully customise, like the emblem system, your gun with your own custom paint jobs.
Okay.
There's 3 sides to the gun that you can do, and 64 layers. So you're going to get some really insane art.
Well, that's good news, because it means they won't try and flog people a load of weapon skins, presumably.
Well, or they might still.
Or they might still.
Made by professionals.
But they showed one in like sped up time of some guy making the Treyarch logos all over the gun, and it looked brilliant. But that doesn't completely replace the camo system either. Okay. What works is, it works in tandem with the camo system.
Right.
So you add a camo to the gun, and all your art and stuff has
and
the camo
then
and
you
stuff.
can draw a penis on it.
You could probably draw a penis on it, yeah. So there's precision editing controls as well, material support. So, I mean...
you could make the gun look like a penis and fire little white
Can you
bullets.
do that? Can you confirm that?
Yeah, sure. It's confirmed.
Headshot.
I'm pretty sure you could draw a penis. I'm not sure how long it'd last. But,
get taken down.
And stuff. But yeah, so the gun's
But wait,
sorry,
cool. I don't know. In Advanced Warfare, you've got pick 13, and obviously it means that you can choose 13 different things. But within that, you've got weapons that you unlock the optic, and then you unlock the stock.
Yeah,
How
so
is that different?
If you create your weapon and then you go into create a class and you haven't unlocked that optic, it'll just give you the standard optic until you've unlocked.
So you still have to unlock shit.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Oh, will there be loot again, like there was in Advanced Warfare?
Like
the drops.
The little drops.
I mean, they haven't mentioned anything like that, but it wouldn't surprise me, because what they're doing with the guns, there's loads of different variations and stuff that they could do, and they could just give away really funky grips and stuff in those packs. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think that's going to be a staple in all games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like that.
Me too.
Right. So we've covered most of the stuff that we were going to cover, but before we get off of multiplayer and on to zombies, there's a beta, right?
Yes, there is a beta coming out this year for everybody that pre-orders a game.
That's cool.
When?
Don't say when.
What's in it?
Later on in the year.
Well, it's going to be out, presumably it'll be out October, November, so it'll be before then.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Something, the beta.
I would say that you're probably... When was Destiny's beta? That was like August.
July, August.
So that's like 2 months before launch. I would suspect it's going to be August, September-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a beta coming for everyone that's pre-orders a game.
And what can we expect to see at E3?
At E3, it's playable for the first time on the show floor.
That's
ever. In Call of Duty history.
Yeah, usually they just show it off and you get to watch it and go, ooh, that looks nice. And it's usually campaign, they don't reveal multiplayer till much later. Unprecedented!
Yeah, any other questions?
Yes. Zombies. What do you know about it?
Not a lot. Zombies is in it. That's all we know. It's got its own XP system, own progression system. So yeah, that's essentially all we know about zombies. Apart from there's a little phrase on it. There's a little phrase that says, "Only the cursed survive." So
what does that mean?
Oh, what does that mean?
You said it's going to be a smaller offering, is that true?
Who said that?
I thought you did.
No. When did I say that?
Don't know, maybe I've dreamt it.
Yeah, I didn't say that. They've not mentioned anything about zombies. They just wanted to announce it because last time it wasn't announced till September.
Right, yeah.
This September you'll be playing the bloody beta probably.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright, is there anything I've missed? Anything you need to share?
I don't think so. If there is, check out xboxachievements.com or PlayStationTrophies.org, where there is, if you go to the Call of Duty Black Ops III ID, if you're looking at this sometime in the future, there'll be fuckloads of stuff on there.
Fuck loads. So there you go. That was Dan Webb. I've been Lee Bradley. This has been Harry Rich Walker. And that's everything you need to know about Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Thank you. And goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
What are you waiting for?
Hello and...
Hello!
Hello and
Hello.
welcome. I resign. Hello and welcome to Call of Duty. No, fuck.
I hair in my mouth.
Did you
I
spit
got
it?
water in my eye.
Nice.
How did you get it in your
I was
eye?
just pissing around and squirting it out.
Splashed.
Hello and welcome to everything you need to fucking hell.